This looks like a job for research!
The Bat Chat.
Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan and welcome back to the Bat Chat. Today I am sans Steve because he and I have had difficulty the last couple of weeks coming together and making more episodes, more commentaries for Batman the Animated Series episodes here on the Bat Chat, so I thought I would fly solo once again and talk about a really fun, kind of off-the-wall topic. Today I want to talk about odd Batman merchandise that doesn't exist, that I'm surprised doesn't. Now, I said the word odd. Many of the things I'm going to talk about are things that would probably be strange to expect anything that's not Batman to exist, but I gotta say, I have gotten a little bit spoiled when it comes to Batman. I've been putting together this room. As you can tell, everything down here is Batman. I call it the Bat Cave. People get kind of disappointed when they come over and they're like, oh, it's not really a Bat Cave. I'm like, yeah, what did you expect? An actual cave with cave wall? Well, at the very least, I thought maybe you'd have, I don't know, like a Batmobile or some display cases with costumes in them. I thought at the very least I'd have to walk across a lengthy, bridge or platform that should have guard railings but doesn't, like, in Star Wars things. That's the thing that Batman has in common with the Imperials in Star Wars. I just thought of that. But people come into my Batcave and they're like, it's not really a cave. I'm like, yeah, well, it's subterranean. What do you want from me? And anyway, so it's all Batman stuff. And over the last few years that I've been in this house, I've been compiling everything I can find that has Batman on it for like normal stuff you would put in a room. I've got a kitchenette down here, so I've gotten kitchen things that are Batman. I have a Batman soap dispenser. I have Batman hand towels. They make stuff for every room in your house. You can get Batman shower curtains now. I have a Batman floor mat for the bathroom. I have a rug in this room. Really, practically anything you can imagine that you would want to decorate your house with, or accessorize for yourself that you might want to wear around. You can wear Batman on your sleeve, literally, and really anywhere else. It all exists. Be it the fashion or interior design. So when something turns out not to exist, that I can't find it, I get really surprised by that, because Batman is arguably one of, if not the most recognizable modern character, not to mention symbol, just the bat symbol, whatever variation of it, in the world. And I would say that Batman is right up there with recognizability with Mickey Mouse and Santa Claus. I mean, everybody, minus maybe some third world countries here and there, if they see Batman, they know what that is. And if they see that symbol, they know what that is. There are children who know that symbol before they know basic geometric shapes. That's how well-known and recognizable it is. There are people that are not Batman fans that accessorize with Batman because it's kind of a fad, because it's popular. It's not really tacky to a lot of people. It's not too nerdy to a lot of people anymore. I've met people who are wearing Batman things, and I've tried to engage them a little bit. Oh, cool, you like Batman, and they'll stop me real quick because they can kind of tell that I'm probably a Batman fan or aficionado or something, and they go, oh yeah, I just like what it looks like. And it's a thing that is, like I said, popular, and it's in vogue, and I wonder how long that'll be. I wonder if it won't be in vogue for a really long time, like maybe beyond even my lifetime. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but it's been that way for a good long time, and especially since geeky stuff has gotten more mainstream and more accepted, it's some of these things, and especially Batman, I think, have really permeated a lot of different worlds, and so it's a thing that you see on the street. For people who aren't even really big Batman fans, and I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's really interesting. I think, like I have expected more people to come down here and be like, oh, you nerd or you geek or whatever, and I suppose, and that wouldn't really faze me all that much. Look at the name of my YouTube channel, but I've gotten less of that than I would expect, and less than I think I would have, 20 years ago, certainly. And some of that's the company I keep, but I even mean just like when maintenance people will come over, like a plumber or something, and come down and isn't into this kind of stuff, or is from of an earlier generation than mine, will come down and not really be fazed by it. Maybe partly because more and more this is becoming more common. Rooms like this, I think, are more common. I bet there are a lot of people. Like I had a guy who came over to appraise my house, to tell me how much my house was worth now. We had to do that in order to get our kitchen remodeled. And he looked around, and I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't more surprised. And at the end of it, I couldn't help but ask him. I said, "Is this the geekiest house you've ever been?" He said, "Not by a long shot, not by miles." And so this is, of course, getting a lot more common. And so. So I find myself a little bit surprised when I can't get certain things that are Batman. For instance, and this one's not on my list because, and I apologize for the lengthy preamble before I get to my list, but I thought just this moment in time, the current cultural significance and interest in Batman, and how that relates to merchandising and all the things that you can get that have Batman on them, I thought was interesting. But up until recently, I couldn't find a Batman trash can, and like I had seen one before, but then it was, I guess, out of print isn't the way you would put it for a thing like that, but they weren't being made anymore. And finally, somebody started making Batman trash cans again, and so I got one, but not until I was finding them in all the box stores. Once Target had them, then I was finding them again. And so all of the things that are on my list are things that I can't seem to find, and if you find them, either old things, and a couple of these things I'll mention used to be made and aren't anymore, and I'm surprised by that. But if there's anything here that you know of that is licensed, and I couldn't find it on the internet anywhere, but you know of it somewhere else, please let me know, be it something that, again, is currently made or used to be made. There are things that I will mention that other people are making, homemade, and things that you can find in Etsy shops and on eBay and people selling on Amazon and all that kind of thing, or at conventions. But I'm talking about being surprised that I'm not finding licensed versions of those things. And of course, for some things, it's a good thing that we're not getting licensing, because once Warner's or any company really, I mean, I don't want to throw Warner's under the bus, but once a major company like that starts to try to make money on a thing, they tend to try to shut down anybody else that's making a thing. There are a lot of things being made right now that if somebody wanted to come in and sue, they probably could, but they're not trying to make any money on it right now, so I would assume that's the reason that they're not. It's weird, the kind of murky waters we see for making, and more preamble, I apologize, for making stuff that stuff, but with iconography that you don't own, with branding that is not yours. I think we walk a really tightrope all the time with T-shirts, where sometimes I'll be really surprised that people can use not just likenesses, but just straight up symbols and things, and not worry about being prosecuted, even though I think they probably could. There'd be grounds. And so some of these things that other people make that aren't being licensed, I'll be a little bit surprised by. And sometimes you'll hear a story where a company will try to shut down something like this, but by and large, people, they're not mass producing, they're making it on their own, and these companies don't tend to go after them. So some of the stuff you can find, and I guess my point was, sometimes you'd find them way better, of way better quality, and you wouldn't really want Warner's to license these things because they wouldn't make probably really good quality ones. So with that being said, I want to start with a thing that used to be made that isn't anymore and that was of awful quality, and of course nobody else is making this because it's electronics, and that is the Batman DVD or Blu-ray player and TV. And I tack TV in there because back in the mid-2000s there was a Batman DVD player and a Batman TV and also a little Batman stereo CD player. And they looked really cool. The design was fantastic. Unfortunately, they broke down really fast, and nobody that I've ever heard of that had these had them for very long. They all broke down. They weren't made to last. They weren't very heavy. They were really hollow inside, and they were just badly manufactured. But they looked fantastic. I had the DVD player, and this was right around Batman Begins, so it was in the shape of the Batman Begins symbol, and it lit up in the front. It was gray, and it lit up yellow, and also the remote control was really cool because it was shaped like a bat, but an elongated bat, and vertical. And I loved that thing, and I practically cried when I had to toss it because it was really cool looking in my apartment, and man, I wish I had one now. I almost bought one that somebody claimed worked for not very much money because I wouldn't spend much money on it. I know these things break down real fast on eBay, and a few weeks ago, and for whatever reason I forgot to bid on it or something happened. I didn't end up getting it. I forget. Maybe I got outbid. I can't remember. It was on eBay, and I haven't seen one since that was affordable. And again, I won't spend very much on that because they don't work, or they stop working. But anyway, so somebody should come back and do that and do it right, because I think those would sell really well if you made really good ones. So these are mostly things that are like regular household items that you'd love to have in Batman form. What about Batman appliances? Why aren't there really any of these? There is a Death Star waffle iron right now that is really popular that I keep hearing about. People keep telling me, Cap, you gotta get this waffle iron, it's awesome. And it is really cool. And I keep feeling like your brand hasn't really made it until you have a waffle iron, because there are a few of these that the weirdest and most obscure thing you could think of is somebody made a waffle iron. Who even makes homemade waffles anymore? And the Powerpuff Girls had one. And Batman, to my knowledge, has never had one. I can't find one anywhere. Again, if you find the Batman waffle iron, let me know. I can't find one anywhere. But that seems like a no-brainer. Batman-shaped waffles, yes, please. Also, where's the Batman refrigerator, or at least a mini-fridge? Star Trek has one. Star Trek has a Borg Cube mini-fridge. It's the coolest thing ever. It glows green, I think, inside. Where's the Batman mini-fridge? I would love to have Batman appliances to go with all the rest of my crazy Batman stuff. And yes, I want to brand and label everything Batman. That probably sounds really silly, because it's like, we over merchandise things constantly, and maybe people like me that want to buy into that are to some people kind of part of the problem with like the corporate machine or whatever, but I really like Batman, and these are things that there's an interest in, so why not make them and sell them to people? Batman, I should mention, of course, for anybody that's not aware, that Batman has a really long history with weird, strange, and absurd merchandise, and merchandising everything you could possibly think of, going all the way back to the 60s, and was one of the first things, if not the first, that had this much merchandising all on its own. I think it was kind of unmatched until you got to Star Wars, where with 60s Batman, I mean, they made crazy Batman stuff for like everything, and that trend has just continued as Batman has refound his popularity and now cemented it. Where's the Batman keyboard? This one's weird because I have a Spider-Man keyboard, and I went looking for a Batman one because I was like, oh yes, of course, there should be one of those in my office, in my Batcave. And they don't make one. The only thing I could find is there are decals. There's a set of decals you can get to put on specifically a MacBook keyboard. I think a MacBook, one of the Mac laptops, and you have to like meticulously take them and put the take the stickers and put them on your keyboard, and it only works for that because of the particular size of the keys and the number of keys and all of that, so you can cover all of it and make it look like your Batman keyboard. And the thing is, you put them all together and it makes a whole picture like my Spider-Man keyboard does. So you kind of want to make sure and put it on the right keyboard. And they don't make a straight up Batman keyboard. I'm really surprised by that. I would think that would be such a no-brainer, like a keyboard in the shape of a bat symbol would be really neat. Where is that? Batman kids' beds, I'm surprised I'm not finding any of. This might be a thing that used to exist. There are a few people that have made just killer homemade ones that are probably neater than anything DC would ever, put their branding on. But, they would ever license, but I'm a little bit surprised not to see more of that. And of course, they make like little table and chair sets all the time, and there are like comforters and things. But I was surprised that there's not like the Batman race car bed. Like race car beds are really popular. Where's the Batmobile car bed? I think, and then going along with that, just tables and furniture in general. Again, lots of people making really neat and creative, like wooden tables that look like a bat symbol, glass tables. There's a couple of those that people are selling in Etsy stores that I really want to put down here. I think are super cool. And again, I doubt that that anything official would ever be as neat as that. But again, I'm just surprised it doesn't exist. Where's the Batman bookshelf? You'd think that you'd want to capitalize on people wanting to make a room feel more like a bat cave, so you'd make things that Batman would have in his bat cave, like just basic furniture. Related to that, at the end of this, I'm going to get into a few things that are crazy that do exist, and there's something related to Batman chairs that I'll talk about there because it's hilarious. Okay. Then, forget just a keyboard. What about a bat computer? Like why haven't one of the... Maybe there's a really good reason for this, I don't know. But why hasn't one of the big computer companies, be it Apple or Microsoft or somebody else, maybe even like Alienware, I don't know anything about that company, but like maybe this could be a gaming computer. But what do you think you'd want to get with Warner's, try to get the Batman license and make the greatest, most impressive state-of-the-art computer you can possibly put together and put it in the form of use Batman's symbol and the license, the likeness of all of that stuff, and make the Bat computer. It just seems like that would sell really well, and at the very least, again, make a really cool gaming Bat computer. Okay, this one might be going too far. Perhaps this is not a thing anyone would buy. Still slightly surprised that there's not one, at least, for the sake of novelty. Where's the utility belt tool belt? That looks like a Batman utility belt, but you put your tools in it, like for adults, like for handymen. I said that you can wear Batman on your sleeve, and it's not as silly as it used to be to people. Now it can be even kind of a fashion statement. You're like really cool and hip when you wear Batman stuff. This is probably maybe going a little bit too far, where there probably are like tool guys that would wear that, and maybe their friends would laugh at them or threaten to beat them up. I don't know. Still a little bit surprised that doesn't exist. And then this is probably an obvious one, but like street-worthy Batmobiles. I'm really surprised that there hasn't been more talk from Warner Brothers about trying to license that, because there are a lot of people that are making and selling Batmobiles and making a pretty good living doing this. And I feel like this is a thing where there have been maybe court cases here and there. I forget. I know there are a couple of different properties where that's the case. I know that the people selling DeLoreans, Back to the Future DeLoreans, seem to be okay, and they haven't had problems. I've never heard anything about Ghostbusters with Ecto-1s, but with Batmobiles, I think this might be one where that's been an issue. So I'm a little bit surprised that there hasn't been more talk about getting with a car company and just making Batmobiles and selling them. Seems like that would be a thing that would be really popular and people would really want. Two more, and these get a little bit more absurd. One of them is, and this would be a thing that not nearly as many people would want to buy, probably, but I'm still a little bit surprised that I haven't seen one of these, and that is the licensed Batman parachute. You know, for people that skydive. Because the Batman parachute was a thing in 60s Batman, where it breaks the car. Not breaks the car, like, makes it fall apart, like, ruins it, like, sabotage it. Sabotage! It, like, slows the car down. But, like, where's the parachute that has the bat symbol, like, on the top of it? Just seems like a thing that should exist. And finally, the Bat credit card. I know what you're thinking, like, oh, why would you take this, the what a lot of people think is the stupidest joke from Batman Forever, or from, Batman and Robin, says Batman Forever on the credit card, and put it, and actually make a Batman credit card. Well, I'm a little surprised it's not a thing, and it wouldn't obviously have to be a direct reference to that movie, because there are character checks for all kinds of things, and there probably is for Batman too. I didn't look that up, but like my wife and I have Star Trek checks. We used to have Guardians of the Galaxy checks. Just a little bit surprised that we don't have that for credit cards, and I think I've seen this for other things with credit cards, or at least like customizable, like with checks, where there's different design, customizable in the sense that they give you a lot of different designs, and then you can pick one, like a Batman MasterCard or a Batman Visa. Kind of surprised not to see that. So there are my 10 kind of, for the most part, regular household item sorts of things, or like interior decorating kinds of things that I'm surprised not to see Batman on. And then here's some wild card out there, and somewhat some of these silly ones. I've always wanted the laughing bag. The rest of these are not practical things like that list mostly was. I've always wanted that Joker laughing bag from the end of Batman '89. Like I've never seen one. I don't think that exists. That is like the prop that I most would like to have from that movie. A little surprised I've never heard of one and never seen one. I think it'd be cool. This could be way too dangerous and could be maybe used too much or too easily as a taser, although you just wouldn't make it like really high voltage. But what if you made a bug zapper that was in the shape of the taser that Catwoman has in Batman Returns? Like, make that bug zapper? Like, that seems like a cool idea. But again, it might be too dangerous. I want a robot Alfred. Like, when we get to where we have like way better robots that are almost like self-aware AI. I think everybody's gonna want their, like, house cleaning robot to be Alfred Pennyworth. And, like, he answers the door for you, and he tries to bring you food, and he berates you when you go out on patrol and you get hurt, and he stitches you up, and he gets annoyed with you when you don't want to eat because you're too focused on your mission, and, you know, normal stuff that everybody does. You're gonna want a robot Alfred. And like, I could see somebody maybe wanting like a Batman tombstone. You know, like when they die, like maybe a tombstone that's made to look like one of the like authentically one of the screen tombstones from the umpteenth, or like the bazillions of different Wayne killings in different movies. But that might be in really poor taste. It's surprising, though, how many tombstones actually exist that have the word Batman on them. Like, Batman is a fairly common last name. Apparently, there are a lot of pictures of Batman tombstones that you can find online. Okay, and now I want to mention a few things that in my research, I was surprised to, because this was a job for research, that I was surprised actually do exist. Here's some weird things. Maybe the weirdest of them is this. The Batman chair cape. Yes. So there's not a waffle iron or a utility tool belt or even like licensed Batman tables, but DC Comics directly, that's where you can get it on Amazon, has a cape that you can put on the back of your chair. Hilarious. And, you know, as much as I love having Batman everything down here, that does seem like a bridge too far. That is really silly. I don't think my chair needs a cape. I think having a Batman chair that had, like, you know, pointed ears on the tops of it, like, that would be cool. You wouldn't really call them ears, because that's weird, but you know what I mean. The points on the, like, Batman has, you know, often in his Batcave. The Bat Duck. This is a thing. Like, why not just make the yellow duck vehicle thing and then make from Batman Returns that, you know, that the Penguin has, and then just make rubber duckies that your kids can play with in the bathtub out of that. Like, why do we need a duck that looks like Batman? Especially because we already had a duck that looked like Batman. It was a direct parody of Batman and was within the Warner Brothers license, which was the Bat Duck spoof in Tiny Toons with Plucky Duck. Like we already have that. Just make action figures of that, or you know, ducks of that. The Batman trailer hitch. Yeah, I've seen those too. They look really cool on the back of trucks. There's a Batman beer, but only in Sweden. I didn't see this anyplace else, and it's using the symbol directly from Batman 89. So it looks like 89B. It looks like it was made in 1989. It wasn't, but that's kind of what it looks like. And it's in cans, which is kind of neat because I took one look at that and I was like, oh, we need like Batman soda just so that I can like buy that can. That's really cool. There are other properties that have beer. I reviewed the Vulcan, the Star Trek Vulcan beer a couple weeks ago on Geekvolution. And was a little bit surprised to find that we didn't have a Batman beer here in America, but it does exist in Sweden. Okay, this is awesome. The Batman inflatable obstacle course for your kids to play on that you can like rent at birthday parties with like other obstacle courses. I'm surprised I haven't actually seen this at any like festivals or things I've been to that have those big inflatable bounce houses. Like the Batman inflatable obstacle course. That's pretty darn cool. And finally, this Batman bowling ball. I want a Batman bowling ball. That's awesome. If I bowled regularly, that's what I would put on my bowling ball. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks a lot for watching. If you know about other really cool Batman things, licensed or otherwise, that I didn't bring up, feel free to put them in the comments. There's, of course, all kinds of other things that I could have mentioned that I didn't. But, yeah, I'm just surprised that with so much Batman merchandising, Batman on everything, that some of the things that I mentioned aren't around. I mean, like, look at this. I have Batman cologne. I have Batman sticky notes. I'm wearing right now Batman slippers. Although I got those on clearance at Target and was a little bit surprised that they were liquidating those, that nobody wanted them. Why wouldn't you want to wear Batman on your feet? I don't understand that. Just like so much Batman stuff. Surprised that some of that stuff's not there. Anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and Steve and I will try to be back with you again very soon with more commentaries on Batman the Animated Series episodes and more discussions about Batman stuff in general. I'm Captain Logan, and I'll see you again with more videos real soon.